Okay, so I just finished a Fast and Furious marathon, and now I'm gonna do a tier list. The first Fast and Furious, I don't think it's nostalgia. I don't think it's nostalgia that makes it great to me. I think it's a unique movie. It's the only car movie. Like before that came out, I can't think of any other car movies that were stuck in my mind besides that one Nicolas Cage thing. I think Gone in 60 Seconds. That's maybe the only other car movie that was memorable around that same time. So that's an easy S for me. Dope cars, dope races. The plot was simple. Street racing, a little bit of crime. There were stakes. A very important side character died. So you felt like anybody could die in that one, actually. Then you got Too Fast, Too Furious, which, damn, that's tough. Too Fast, Too Furious is also a really good one. It's not, I'm really trying not to be nostalgic about it because I've seen Too Fast, Too Furious at least 10 or 15 times, maybe more than that throughout my life. I think Too Fast, Too Furious has the best soundtrack, all in all. A couple street races. Tyrese is pretty funny in this one. Ludacris isn't a rocket scientist just yet. He's just a really good mechanic who runs races. I'll say Too Fast, Too Furious. Damn, Eva Mendes is in that one. Too Fast, Too Furious. Not a S. Not a S, but a A. I do like the vibe of Miami in that movie. Okay. And next is Tokyo Drift, which is actually my favorite one of all of these. A big part of that is it's a Fast and Furious movie, but it's the most similar to the very first Fast and Furious. There's it's mostly about racing. There's some crime. It's a chill time, comparatively speaking, to everything that comes after Tokyo Drift. And then it's kind of sad when you think about it because Tokyo Drift just kind of gets forgotten in the middle of these other nine movies. It's like it's almost not connected except for that one post credit scene. But easily my favorite. I would play the song, but I'm not trying to get copyrighted again. Then there's Fast and Furious, the beginning of the ridiculousness. I will say though, I think Fast and Furious, this one, damn it, that's so confusing. Okay, not the Fast and Furious. Fuck. I think Fast and Furious is technically the best movie in the entire franchise. Technically, because it's not insane at all. There's stakes. There's a race. Yeah, there's one race in the movie that I remember. Fast and Furious is basically like a revamped version of the first movie. The stakes are there. You feel like people can die. They actually tell you a main character from the first movie died. They tell you a main character from the first movie died. And I mean, you believe it. And it's like, okay. So people aren't safe in this one. This is just a really good action movie. Dang. Yeah, Fast and Furious is that's an A for me. Now, Fast Five. Fast Five is when things take a turn for insane. The laws of physics leaves the chat at this point. These guys slowly morph into superheroes with this one. But I'm not gonna lie. Fast Five is extremely entertaining. Extremely. I'm not even a huge rock fan, but he's good in this. And then you got the final chase scene with the massive vault just swinging around like a wrecking ball. Fast Five is uh, Fast Five is an S for me. I like a heist movie. Yeah, I like a heist movie. Heist movies are usually somewhat insane, so I let it slide with Fast Five. Fast Five that's a good one. I could rewatch that. Now, Fast and Furious 6. This is when they start working for the government, basically. This is when they start to become spies, doing spy stuff. I think no, they've had guns in the other ones, but I think this one, it's not just cars. They're like actually doing full blown, like a full blown mission. But Fast and Furious 6 is when they start getting closer to that cliff. And that's where I gotta say Fast and Furious 6 is a solid C for me. That's a solid C for me. Furious 7, though, I can't lie. Jason Statham made that one better. It felt like there was some mistakes. And then you had the soundtrack that was also good. I'm not going to be singing on here, but we all know the song. Yeah, no, I'm not going to be singing on here. But yeah, no. Really good song. Furious 7. Furious 7 is a decent movie, but I can't separate why I like that movie. I don't know if it's because it's sentimental, if it's because the vibe, or if it was because Furious 7 was more of like what's the word? A homage to Paul Walker. I think that's the word. That's kind of what had me intrigued in Furious 7 in the first place. Was just like, oh, Paul Walker passed away. I wonder how they pulled this off. But I did enjoy Furious 7, even though some of the sequences were a bit insane. But at this point, it started to become the norm. Furious 7 is about a B for me. Now, this is where you just kind of you have to stop thinking logically at this point. And at this point in the franchise, you just have to stop thinking about things like physics or, the human body. How many car crashes can a person survive? The Fate of the Furious, that's a D. That has to be a D for me because at that point, they tried to tell you that Dom was about to be a villain. What a twist. Dom is now the antagonist. Because I totally believe that this dude who says family in every single movie, is about to turn on his family. Right. And then he has the car that can just pull multiple cars at the same time. How big is the engine? How much does the car weigh to be doing that? That just never added up for me. That scene alone, I don't understand. And then they made him come off like a super soldier. So Dom is just unstoppable now, right? Okay, sure. Sure he is. Furious 9, when they bring in the brother who he just happened to never bring up in the past 20 years worth of movies, just never brought up the fact that he has a brother. If he did, let me know, because I damn sure did not hear him bring up a brother until this movie. Furious 9, it's fresh on my mind because I just watched it a couple hours ago and it felt like a movie with a plot and just a bunch of random things happening. Just a bunch of random things. It's like they wrote the movie, they were like, okay, Dom has a brother. Random stuff happens for 2 hours and now they're brothers again. This is where things got extremely ridiculous. I think this is the most ridiculous one, actually. Fast and Furious 9 is the most ridiculous one. They drove through a landmine, and then John Cena drove over a cliff and got picked up by a jet midair. This is a sci-fi movie. This Fast and Furious 9 is not an action movie. It is a sci-fi movie. That's what that is. Then we got Fast X. I did not want to like Fast X, but for some reason, I could watch it again. And I think a big part of that is because the villain actually has a personality. Out of all the movies, this is the one villain that has a distinct personality. He doesn't even dress like a villain. Fast X, I wouldn't say it's up there with Furious 7, but it's definitely a C. Fast X is very ridiculous, but I think the villain they have makes it a bit more interesting than it should be. So I got to give it a C. I did not mean to rhyme. But yeah, that's my tier list. Let me know what you think.